Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. So first of all, I want to thank every single one of my watchers. I do not take the subscribers and the non-subscribers for granted in the least. YouTube is a lot out here, and sometimes I wonder why I keep making videos. Sometimes I wonder, like, who cares? You know, but when I get a topic that I'm passionate about, when I get something that is just, you know, I really enjoy talking to myself in the camera and then I enjoy posting it for you all. And I hope that how I was for years, I was kind of like one of those silent subscribers where I would, you know, listen to someone and I'd be like, you know, I really am so glad that they shared, and I really am so glad that they didn't quit. Because connecting with someone on a genuine, authentic level, you know, I'm not a big TV watcher, so I've never been one to connect with fictitious characters, storylines, like, yeah, you know, I see myself in this character. That just is not my thing. So, and I granted, you know, we all take a chance in not only for the content creators putting ourselves out there, but as a consumer of the content in the world of social media, you know, you also too hope that you can trust, or you grow to have what you think is a true connection with the people that you find entertaining. And I've always said, you know, never take my word for it, but I do have a sense, I have a soft place in my heart for shared experiences and lessons learned and just this exchange. So that is why I keep going. That is why I make my videos. And if it wasn't for the women that I found on certain platforms that talked about changing their life, encouraging others, setting new standards, I really don't think I would have thought it was all the way possible. I had read Think and Grow Rich. I had seen the Law of Attraction movie, but it's something about, you know, seeing it all pulled together. And we all know that we've heard that, you know, looking up to and connecting to people that are where you want to be is so much better than staying with people that are at your level or definitely not where you're at. You know, you constantly want to be looking at the next, you know what I mean? So I'll use an example. I have college credits. I wasn't a college dropout, but I definitely have a lot of college credits. I do think that higher education is very important. Now I'm going off on a tangent. But would I hang out with a high school dropout that doesn't aspire to see education as a means to an end, as a means to, you know, do all these wonderful things and open up doors? I'm not going to draw a high school dropout that is an entrepreneur and making bank. That's a different type of high school dropout. If that is part of your growth and your journey and your testimony, but I'm talking about a girl that, like, I dropped out and I don't care, and I have no ambitions to do anything, you know, aside from my personal development, my business, you know, development, my goal development. That is, you see the comparison of the two different types of high school dropouts, whereas someone like me that has some college credits that can be rolled into something, you know, what does that look like and where am I going? So let's get back to the topic of this video. But I just wanted to say that before I got started, because I have I think I have like 150 videos, 149 videos. I think this will be 150. And I just don't take it for granted. Every view, every like, every comment, it just means a lot to me. Male or female, I don't care, you know. But this one is a juicy one. You all know I talk about single motherhood. And that was like, I don't want, you know, that was my wheelhouse for a very long time. And so I follow and I have a lot of respect for this YouTuber, the Hypergamous Hive. That is her Instagram handle. She is a content creator, really high quality videos. I love her approach. I love her message. But a lot of people have been stealing her content and not giving her any credit. And so I think she has moved more into Patreon and like a paid version of her video content, which I don't blame her. But I still do follow her Instagram, and she touches on the Keke Palmer being unmarried and the whole motherhood, and how we see a lot of celebrities and people with money, you know, decide, hey, I want to start a family with or without the traditional blueprint of, you know, getting married and doing it that way. And it's funny when I see people touch on being single mothers and all that stuff. And this is no slight to either way. And this is definitely no slight to Hypergamous Hive's content. She really has a way of writing and calling on the conversation to be started about, you know, really hot topics and debates. So her question to her audience is, does being unmarried make motherhood less special? Does being unmarried make a woman's babies more validated or more important than the next? And are you more mad at Keke Palmer and, you know, her being able to have the financial security that it takes to be a single mother? And I don't want to say single mother loosely, but there are some people out here that swear by, you are single if you are not married. And legally, yeah, you can't recognize a fiance or a boyfriend, you know. So unless you got the papers, you know what I mean? Unless your name was on some things before you tie the knot, which, hey, if you can move like that, absolutely, that's great too, you know. But legally, does a woman that is unmarried to the father of her children mean that it is any less special and blah, 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 blah? And so I've always said in a lot of my videos that I don't use celebrities as a talking point or just a standard to like base anything, like not even like, oh, she can do it, I can do it, none of that stuff. Because to me, it's all entertainment. It's all just, you know, you're watching their lives from a very different, it's just no comparison. If I had millions of dollars, who knows what I would do? I don't want to find out. Being a celebrity, I have no interest in being a celebrity. And I have no interest in, you know, doing all that it takes to be a celebrity. Not because of the money and the financial gain and the blah, 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 but just for other personal reasons. And so I'm not knocking Keke Palmer at all. She can do what she want to do. But I think it is interesting that we look at this as like, you know, you do have some women that think like that, like, oh, you know, if a celebrity, I want to get pregnant too. Like it's, you know, collect them all, cutesy, whatever. And you don't think long term. You don't think about, you know, all that comes with, you know. So yes, we know that there are some women out there. What I want to share about this is, first of all, it's going back to, there are a lot of conversations out there. Where you fit into that and how people view you is, it always comes back to how you view yourself. Now, I have never, I've also said this, I have never felt any kind of shame, rejection, judgment, or anything based on me being a single woman and having children. Not in my goals, not in my connections, not in my dating, not in anything has anyone ever made me feel like, because I have two little humans behind me that I am responsible for, that I have brought into this world, I am less than, or that you are treating me differently because of these two little people. They have been my pride and joy. I have taken so much pride into being able to provide. And yes, being in your masculine gives you that drive, that push, that power, that you got to do what you got to do. And then if you are so lucky to be able to relax, pull back, let go of the reins, stop wearing all the hats, stop working so hard, stop stressing yourself out, stop doing it, having to do it all, then by all means. And you have to decide that that is even a possibility. No matter what the statistics say, no matter what blog posts say, no matter what people say, you being a single mom, of course it doesn't make you any less. And let me add this, no one knows your journey as to how you got to where you're at. So that whole single mother badge is like, you know, I know for the people on the outside looking in, you know, we're the women that just laid down with any old body and had all these kids out of wedlock because we had nothing better to do, of course, you know. And then we wanted to get help Then we wanted to pour our kids onto the system and get wham, and we need hands out, we need groceries, we need assistance, and all this stuff, and we are just the dead weight of society. Oh, I know. But no one knows your story. No one knows, where you're coming from, where you're going, unless you tell them, and unless you let the opinions of other people rob you of everything and more. I don't listen to those talking points. And abortion is the same way. Oh, no abortion, no abortion. Look, if that's what you need to do because of your circumstances, that is your business. So if you don't go out here and volunteer and let people crucify you, then you therefore cannot be crucified. So I've never just walked with a chip on my shoulder about people not seeing a ring on my hand, me not being up under a man, if I go out with the girls, them looking different, none of that. I was widowed. That's how I was a single mom the first time around, and so I had to wrestle with that. I had people telling me, your daughter's so pretty, when are you going to have some more? You know what I mean? Oh, you should try for a boy. People say things just trying to make small talk, and they don't know your story. So that was never an issue for me. When my second came along, that was to the point where I decided that it would be better for me to be single, cultivate and invest in myself and work on my own happiness than to try to fight this man-child and grovel and wait for this man-child to grow up and be what I was evolving to need. When we first got together, it was all peaches and cream. Yes, we can date and have fun. But when life gets serious and you need a life partner and you want the bills paid, you want things set, you want things straight, you want things in order, you want to have peace at night, all those things don't matter. And so I made a personal decision to walk away from a picture perfect, oh, you could get married and you could be all these things with this person, to self-guarantee my own happiness and the way I wanted my life to look, because it looked it looked so drastic from what I just was like, I don't even recognize what's going on anymore. And that made me unhappy. And it was a very stressful time. Now, the next years following to rebuild and to regrow and relearn myself and to redate myself, that was not easy either. I worked several jobs. I moved several times. I made a lot of sacrifices and did a lot of things that, I had to do what I had to do, but it also lent to the experience and the process and the lessons and the jewels that I gained. And I was very much in my masculine. And I also had to work on my self-healing of not being a man-hater, because you can go so far left that it propels you and pushes you, and it's the drive that you need. I ain't gonna take no shit to... Don't become bitter. You know what I mean? Don't become disenchanted. Don't give up on, the right person. If this is what you want, coming along and saying, I can, do this, and love you for you, and I not bullshit you. And you're like, I don't believe men, I don't trust, and all these other things. I've been hurt before. You know what I mean? So it's great to see these conversations being started. I'm looking at the post just to make sure I don't miss anything. But at the same time, at the end of the day, only you can decide how you feel about your reality, how you feel about your past, and how you're going to be present in the present and create your future. How you're going to allow that to shape you, to mold you, to make you feel, to make you think. How is that going to, inspire you? Because you don't have to be a single mom if you don't want to be a single mom. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. Sometimes it's better to be a single mom than in a marriage that is a farce, that is a scheme, that is an illusion, that is what everybody else thinks it should be. Because that's another thing. I was not so supported in leaving with now 2 children on my own. That didn't look smart. It didn't look like, what God would want for my life. It didn't, so there was a lot of pushback there. And a lot of people make comments like, you never know, you could always work out. Well, you make it work then. You go sleep with him. You go muddle your bills together. You go wait for him to keep his word. You go wait for him to do all the things that an adult should do, especially a father. And I'll wait. Sometimes you have to think of it like that and phrase it like that for other grown-ass adults to basically be like, mind my business. Let me live my life and you live yours. If you want to be, you know, the ostrich with your head in the sand, if you want to be the whooping post, if you want to be the doormat, if you want to, you know, do that and not be in control of your life, be my guest. Y'all and him can go have a huge shindig, hoedown, happily ever after. Good luck with that. You know, you have to phrase it like that. And you also have to take people's opinions and their advice and all that stuff and, you know, throw it out with the trash and keep going. Those things cannot validate you. And if you feel like you are validated within your self-worth, your self-love, your self-care, your passions, your purpose, where you're going, which is going to be so much brighter than where you're coming from, then being a single mother and the statistics is all of that and what other people think, it'll just become just noise in the background, and everything coming to you and everything that you're moving forward to won't reflect any of those things. So I'll give you an example. You know, I was so proud when I didn't need help. You know, someone would say, they're giving out free this, that, and the other for the holidays. They're giving out this, and I'm like, I don't need anything. My children want for nothing. Because I don't profess to not have it all together and, you know, but give it to someone that does. You know, when I was actively dating and strategically dating, I wasn't out here like, I'm a single mom, Sometimes I didn't tell anyone at all. That wasn't their business. It was something that I felt was in my best interest to, not that I was denying my children, not that I was being dishonest, but until I know you're serious about me, you can only be serious about me if then you too can be serious about my children. So when I know that you're not playing games, when I see some red flags, when I know that, you know, you've gone past that little introductory phase, you know, showing me your representative, and I know you're about something, then we can talk. And I'm proud to say I had close, good friends that even though we didn't end up together, I still have a lot of respect for. They had a lot of respect for me. They knew of my children. And it was just another thing. You know, when you did, people would be like, oh, you know, I figured as much, or, you know, whatever. It's just not even a big deal if you don't make it a big deal. And with my fiance, you know, it was like a thing where he had to really pry that part of me open to where, and I mean this by saying, like, you know, when you're ready to allow me to, you know, ask about your children more and share more, and for me to meet them and get to know them, you know, I hope you do give me the opportunity. I just can't wait because I'm up for the challenge, in so many words. And that meant a lot to me. I never had to say, well, if you don't like kids, it's not going to work. And I've never had a guy say, well, if you have kids, it's not going to work. We can't even finish this first date. Nonsense. Why? Because that is not an insecurity of mine. That is not something that I just wear out and you know, exude, because that's not where my thoughts are at. So if you don't buy into this kind of narrative, then that can't be your reality. There's nothing about, you know, the bastard children, illegitimate children. If you don't believe it, then your children are untouchable. If I don't believe my children aren't born into sin, then they're not born into sin. They act like all the other humans that are born and have always been born, and that is just simply human nature. I've never told my children that, you know, stuff about, oh, you know, you are born bad and you are born with all these, you know, terrible things inside of you. No, the terrible things are cultivated when adults just up and decide that they're going to do some fucked up shit. You know what I mean? So it's all in what you internalize and what you repeat and regurgitate. And only you can be in control of that. And having children unmarried and then finding someone and getting remarried, if you don't walk around talking about, well, you know, before, you know, and then now that I'm married, now it's all real, now it's all like, that, it's just so unnecessary, you know what I mean? And so, you know, it's a great talking point to get women to think. Now, and to be clear, it's also good that younger women that don't think that sleeping, with just any old body is a danger versus being well within your right, so that you don't become on purpose, willy-nilly, a baby mama to a whole bunch of losers that can't even take care of their children, now you're getting into a whole nother realm. Now, again, it's not to say that these women are trash or that the children are, you know, bad and all this other stuff. We're not going to go that far, but that situation could have been avoided. It is better to have a child with a man that can take care of you and a baby, of course. In every sense, you don't need to get pregnant, be scratching your head, wondering what you're going to do about health insurance. That's backwards. You don't need to get pregnant with a guy that you don't even know where y'all stand. You don't need to get pregnant with a man that, you know, you don't know exactly where he lives, or is he fully employed, or he's still doing the entrepreneurship thing. All these gray areas with a baby on the way. That's when it gets a little comical and it gets a little sad. So no, we don't want to you know. But what we can't do on the other side of it is all women that are single mothers for whatever reason are, you know, just the liability and the dead weight of a country. And they're, you know, and all this nonsense. And if you're unmarried, you're just out the club. You know what I mean? We're not taking it there. We're not taking it there. And like I said, it's a lot of married women who still don't have enough self-love and self-care to even be themselves and be provided for within their marriages. You know what I mean? And then there are some single women that, you know, are handling everything and taking care of themselves and their children and are more fulfilled and at peace. And, you know, so at the end of the day, you decide how you feel, how you live, what your experience is going to be. No, you can't go back and change it fast, but I promise you, no matter what happened back then, you can always shape tomorrow. And that's what I did. My plan was never to be widowed. You know, when that season of my life came, I was devastated, and I never thought that I would see each new day that came. Every day the sun came up and I had to, you know, face the day, and my body felt numb, and I just had this lump in my throat. You know, and I just couldn't stop crying, and I just had to barely make it through, you know, everything that it took to get up and still take care of my child, still take care of what we needed to take care of, and then plan a funeral. And then after the funeral, still just figure out now what life is going to look like. You know, I never imagined each new day, much less every new second, every new minute. It was a lot. And so I say that to say that, you know, it takes a conscious and willing woman. And I hate to say strong, because I really don't like the word strong, but a determined woman, a vigilant woman, a creative woman, a hopeful woman, a positive woman, you know, to get to where she deserves to be. Because it is with everyone's birthright to have provision, happiness, sunshine, water, fresh air, you know, access to the earth's beauty, you know, to be safe, to be respected, to be heard, to be loved, to love. However that looks like for her. I am so against women, you know, the biggest issue is not people that say what you can't have and what you can't do. The biggest issue is when you believe that, and when you buy into that, and when you allow people to keep you from what you want and deserve. As a single mother, as a Black woman, as whatever you identify as. I've heard women say, my husband said I can't. My husband doesn't let me. So within the constructs of a marriage that, oh, everyone should need to be married and want to be married, and marriage is the pinnacle of success for a woman. It's the quickest way to get wealthy. It's the quickest way to have provision. It's the quickest way. So within all of the, you know, glitter and glory, you still have women limiting themselves within that. Why? You still have women within marriages, and that is the father of their children. I have to ask him to babysit. I have to ask him to help around the house. I have to ask him and negotiate and beg and plead for him. And it makes me sick when he does that and he doesn't do that. Why? Why are you accepting that? You have single moms out here letting boyfriends. You're letting baby daddies. I could go on and on and on. So it's not about any one thing being the answer as it is more so, or the issue as it is more so the person at the center, at the core, being responsible for the ripple effect of what goes on and how this thing goes down. You know, so money can make you, money can break you. We all need money to eat, sleep, and do the fun things. And then you can have money. You can have someone that got billions of dollars and they don't know what the hell to do with it. And they stay in trouble with the law. They stay using drugs and they kill themselves and they abuse themselves and they do all these things. You know, so is money the issue? You know, it's the same kind of root. Let's get back to the root. So, you know, I get on these tangents, but I just feel so passionately about you taking your self-care and your self-love seriously and, you know, letting that be the forefront of everything that you do so that you protect yourself and preserve yourself. And that is where you find the balance. That is where you find, you know, the strength that you need to navigate this thing we call life. And everything else will fall into place as it always does. So I hope this video makes sense. Good luck to you. Whatever you want. You know, there's really, it's just all in what you create. And be mindful that, you know, even if you're creating new, you know, be gentle with the process of the old that you created when you didn't know better, running its course. It's like having a, you know, a little bug. It's got to come out some way, you know, so those things have to trickle off and you still hold on. You don't let those things, discourage you. Don't let those things, you know, set you back and make you think this doesn't work. I've been working with Autumn with that. You know, she'll say, I said my affirmations and my day just kept getting worse. They don't work. I said, why would you say they don't work? Though, you know, some things that happen are rolling over into the things that you thought last night. What you anticipated, what you said was going to happen. Why would you say that? So now it's got to, you know, settle. The dust has to settle, but now you can still create anew. You still have the power. It does work, but it works when you don't want it and it works when you do want it, you know? So before I had my home and before I could stay at home full time, before I had the peace that I had, before I had the focus and the clarity that I had to, you know, settle a lot of scores with myself, within myself. And I had to let a lot of things, you know, pan out. And I patiently knew the process. And so I just want to encourage you, like I said, always. And until the next video, peace. Bye.